Another Wednesday, another race of the mainstream racing series. Welcome, dear MRS fans out there, for race 14 of season 2. 14 of 22, so we are right on the edge to turn towards the final third of the season. And in the final third, that already implies there is a lot at stake, or at least it's beginning to be crucial in the next few weeks. So welcome to crucial time of season 2. We are here in Sochi, Russia, here today on the Sochi Autodrome that was built around the Olympic Park, Winter Olympics of 2014. In February we saw the Winter Olympics, and in autumn 2014 we saw the Formula 1 race on this 5.8 kilometers track, 18 turns. Lap record 1:35.7. That should be blasted by multiple seconds as always. Track difficulty is set to easy. Yeah, okay, that could be. The hardest thing about Sochi is that there are multiple braking points where the car is not driving steadily, where you need to brake for the next turn when the car is still in a turn or still moving sideways a bit. So that is something you have to watch here today. Further, the walls are closed, so there are some runout zones. There's actually, I think, not one gravel pit. So there is some space, but not too much. The walls are always close. The track reminds me in personal, always very much of Valencia. But that we will have a look at a bit later. Then the assists that can be used. So this is the overview: medium traction control, manual gearbox, pit assist, and all that stuff is set to off. And we will see a 18 minutes qualifying followed by a 50% race distance. That is, I think, something around 28 laps or so. We have, an 80 minutes qualifying. We are back to normal qualifying. Last week we had some experiment with sprint races, and just like the Formula 1 in the real world does, we had some ideas about that too, and some experiments, let's just call it that way. And it was a bit wild, I want to say. We had some rain, so that caused even more troubles. Eventually we decided to move back to the usual 18 minutes qualifying, at least for the moment. And one thing I like about this is that you can use the qualifying to get into rhythm, to get into some sync. You have 18 minutes to post, at least one hot lap time, but the rest of the time you can use to get grooved in. And if you start right into a sprint race, that's just 0 time for getting settled or anything whatsoever. We have equal car performances, of course, VSC, safety car, full rules and flags, manual race start, ghosting is off, and dynamic weather, that can be a topic, can sometimes occur in Russia, and we will see some rain. And regular corner cuts, and this is something like a sigh of relief from me, because in Russia, corner cuts, especially track limits, is always a big topic, and so we always run on regulars. We do not want our race to be decided by penalties, but still, France, where you can cut a lot of corners too, where you can exceed track limits a lot too. We saw already a bunch of penalties last week, so could be possible that we will see another whole bag of penalty seconds here in Sochi, even though we race on regular. So what else is important? We are now 2 minutes away to scheduled event start. We see 16 drivers. That's exactly the amount of driver who checked in. Okay, 20 is the maximum. Every race league always tries to be on full grid, of course. We had a bunch of full grid races this year, and now, yeah, it's getting spring. It's early June, and for some countries, lockdowns finally are lifting, and people want to go outside. That's totally fine. The new game is about to arrive. It's just a bit more, 6.5 weeks or so, until the new game is will arrive. So it's totally normal and usual that the amount of drivers is decreasing a little bit. 16 is still totally fine, and this shows that the majority of drivers, let's call it that way, is motivated. And let's have a brief look through the lobby. Our host is once again Mr. David Lawson. And Matt Sneed, one of the newer additions to MIS, is there, of course. We are missing Mikko Caruso, the Rockstar, plus Ryan Price. They told us already in advance. Further, Stefan Williams has been sadly very inactive the last few weeks. And I hope that his motivation will return to his steering wheel as soon as the new game has arrived. Because he's a good race driver. He had some stakes in shaking up the front rows earlier in the season, towards the season start. And the session timer has ticked down, so we will head into this event with 16 drivers. As I said, totally fine, totally okay. That can happen towards the end of the season. A bit sad that Steven Yeoman isn't here today, likewise. And yeah, we will see. Maybe he is able to join within the next 18 minutes. Due to a 18 minutes qualifying, you are allowed to join a little bit later, a little bit delayed. So while we have traveled to the Black Sea, these are the first pictures of the track. We will go once around this big plaza here, the Olympic Plaza. This is the ice hockey arena of Sochi, still of use in the KHL, the Continental Hockey League. And here we are in the pit lane. It looks cloudy, but everything's fine, everything's okay. Doesn't matter so much if it's really cloudy, if it's really sunny or cloudy, but as long as it's dry, everything's going to be fine for the majority of our drivers, I would like to suppose. The only one who might see it a bit different is maybe one of our Williams drivers, Blake Gary, because he let me know already a few times that he does like to drive in rain. He is a good rain driver. Let's see who will be the first one to enter the garage. First one was right in front of us, Jack Rocknan. But there will be someone who is out on track already before him. The first one to be ruled on an out lap is Matt Sneed. Bilton Matt, there he is. Little tradition of mine, you know it already, you, the MIS regulars, I tend to stay with the first one to go out an odd lap, and this is today. Oh wow, this is today Mr. Matt Sneed, and Jarne Vandenbril is out. What happened there? Can I see it? It has to be some kind of crash, isn't it? Cannot jump to him. Don't know what happened. There was a short yellow. I will try to find out in the background chat. Let me have a little bit of luck. And Jana just told me, of course, he is penalty ridden. He has a quali ban still carrying in his backpack from Monaco. So that was the reason why he just left again. Didn't have that in my mind still. Thanks for clearing up, Jarne. So the first driver in the last row is already set. That is Mr. Jarne Vandenbril. Meanwhile, we are here with Bilton Matt, who is already at the end of Sector 1, inside Sector 2. So this is some, likewise to Monaco, just a bit more width. Just like Valencia was earlier, a lot of walls. Like a fast tube you travel through. And this is the big DRS zone. It's a long right bow, then this left-handed kink, but never really straight. And at the end of the DRS zone, you have to brake hard when the car is still in a turn movement. So really awkward to brake, especially when fighting with another driver. And then the last sector here, a bunch of 90-degree turns once around the block, just like Baku, just the other way around. And this is one lap in Sochi, and Matt Sneed is already 1.5 seconds slower than Jack Rognan. Jack Rognan, there he is. He is wearing a purple helmet, and that is for a reason, because earlier today, in the morning hours of today, a very important person of him, his, so to say, second mother died. Not family kind of related, but mentally second mother. She sadly passed away, and her favorite color was purple. So multiple drivers tonight will wear purple colored helmets. My deep condolences to him and the family, of course. And yeah, I wish them all getting over it as quickly as possible, in case you can really say you can speak of a quick recovery there, and just wish them all nerves and strength they can have. Meanwhile, Jack Rognan has found his way back to the pit lane. A lot of times incoming now. We see the first of the new pole setter is Nevis Ekic. Interesting. Not a regular on the pole, but okay, why not? 3.5 tenths away of his real life buddy, Khan Tan. And in third, Mark Goodman. So 3 new names on the qualifying podium, if you want to say so. Still a lot of time. Just the first incoming lap times. Kantan opted to drive on a purple helmet too. Dominic Walsh in 4th, Ricky Kuau in 5th. Rognan is ranked down even into P6. And we've not seen a time yet from Peter Simpson. Simo, our, so to say, pole king. And, yeah, Ravenna said it, he is on his outlap. Likewise to the single Scotsman Leonard Cam, Stuart MacDonald, his name. So, as I'm already speaking about Simo, there he is in the Renault. Simo is very, very closely linked to the championship question in this year. Simo is leading the championship. He was battling against Dominic Walsh in Season 1. In the end, yeah, he was the faster one, but in the end just fell short. So incredibly close. And now this year, he had not a good start, then came back hugely after the mediocre start. And the last few weeks, he dropped a bit of his rather big cushion he had earlier. And now he is leading the way with 182 points. 9 points ahead of Thomas Walsh, the brother of the reigning champion. Thomas Walsh finished 3rd last year. This year he is improving himself and running strong in his championship run this year. Just 9 points behind Peter Simpson, and in 3rd is Jack Rognan, 36 points behind. Let's see if Jack Rognan can close up a little bit to those two drivers, or if it will be a duel. Simo was a bit far over the track limits there, but it was okay. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be interesting if it will be a duel or a 3-man fight then in the end for the championship. Anyway, the reigning champion Dominic Walsh will probably not be part of this championship fight. He is in 6th at the moment with 50 points of gap to Peter Simpson. It is not impossible, but I would like to say unlikely for him to catch up and then still beat the drivers who are around or ahead of him. And there it is. Peter Simpson, first hot lap and a new pole setter, 130.1 for the Englishman, distancing the next one, Nevis Ikic, to half a second. So this today might be the race where it is going to be decided whether this will be a duel for the championship or maybe a threesome. The places behind are partly rather close, so we are getting a picture, I would like to call it, and which drivers are battling against whom for some midfield battles or positions, like a battle for 4th, Jarne van der Brijl, Kaan Tan and Dominic Walsh. Van der Brijl, Tan, Walsh, all them 3 top drivers within just 2 points. 135 for Van der Brijl, 34 Kaan Tan, 3 for Dominic Walsh. Then there is a big gap to 7th Caruso with 68 points, so less than half than those 3 drivers. And then there's another 2 fighting groups actually. The fight for P8, Nevis Ikic, 59 points. Stefan Williams, who's inactive, 59. And Andrew Mann, 56. So those 3 will battle it out for P8, maybe P7. And then a battle for P11. That's Stuart McDonald, 44, Mike Taylor, 42, Mark Goodman, 41, and Ricky Kuau, 40 points. So 4 drivers within 4 points. This is, the picture, how we will then walk into the final third, the last third of the season. And I will read it down a lot more times, I guess, in the last 7 races then. Kantan has retired now too. And he crashed. Kantan has crashed. We are here on board with Martin Ward, and he will film it to us. There is a Williams in the barrier. So he probably was a little bit too far on the left-hand side, taking too much of curb, and then crashing his Williams into the barrier. So he is finished maximally in 4th. I think that that Martin Ward hit the barrier there, so I think he lost an end plate on the right-hand side. Yep, there's an end plate missing, so he will return to his pit crew here, I would like to suppose, and get new tires, get a new nose. Now he won't. He will try this run. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. There is just him and Leonard Cam on a hot lap, so let's have a look what the first sector is bringing for the Red Bull man. One more right turn, the left, and then we will know what sector 1 will bring. This was right the turn where the Williams got destroyed earlier. Have a look. Mercy Man already a second, improving himself. Let's have a brief look at Leonard Cam. He does not look that fast, at least not improving. Okay, I just saw that Martin Ward is 5.2 seconds behind Simo, so he does need to find a bunch of seconds. Leonard Cam getting closer to the end of sector 2. Almost 3/10 of improvement. That is not bad, but would only give him a time to overtake Mike Taylor in P9. Let's see if he can bring it till the end. And in the end, the clock time will stop. No improvement. No improvement. He lost all the time he found then in the last sector. Likewise goes for Martin Ward. So Mercy Man is more or less set for the last position, I would like to assume. David Lawson has just left his pit. Let's have a look at Mark Goodman. Just started the lap, and Rognan is further down the road. So let's stay with Jack Rognan here for a moment. He is on a good lap time, it looks like. 1 turn left, and then we will be in the pole position. 1:29.3. Wow, what a wild time from Torpedo Jack, improving himself by 1.4 seconds. Where did that come from? Wow, only Simo still 1 second to Rognan. Quick jump back to Grimo, who is at the middle mark of the track approximately. He is on an improvement of half a second, and at the end of sector 2, The improvement is melting. Just 2/10 left anymore. Another driver who opted to run on a purple helmet. Let's see, he could be able to attack Dominic Walsh and maybe Kantan. And he does. He overtakes both of them up and into P4. Second starting row. He is finished for the quali, likewise to Rognan. No improvements possible for him anymore. And next to him, is that Simo? That is Peter Simpson, but he went out too late. Just 1 minute left. I'm not sure. I doubt that he can make it over the track in that time. He's heavily corner cutting to try and achieve that. The track allows it, of course. But can he make it over the timing line again? Who else is on a hot lap? Let's have a look what Ricky Kuao is doing. His teammate, he has... I think he has just started his hot lap. We need to have an eye on Thomas Walsh. Thomas Walsh, the only Walsh who is still in the championship run. Sector 1 got some improvements, but he has to improve by a lot. He is down to 12th only at the moment. I think that came because his first hot lap try was on mediums. Yes, Simo is finished. Simo cannot counter. Simo in P2. No pole for Peter Simpson. Oh yeah, Thomas Walsh. 1.1 seconds his improvement, and he needs to find it. That would give him maybe only something around starting row 3 plus minus. So somewhere Grimo, Kantan, Dom Walsh, somewhere around there. And the lap time was invalid. Was it invalid? No, it was valid. Just a very poor improvement. Thomas Walsh is finished. I am a bit speechless. Thomas Walsh finished only in P10. Only in P10. And Andrew Mant could push him out of the top 10. What is the monster doing? Nevis Ekic was on hot lap 2. He's finished. P4 for him. And Andrew Mant, the Alpha Tauri, kicks Tom Walsh out of the top 10. Andrew Mant, P8. Not bad for the Alpha Tauri. Yeah, and I would like to suppose that Thomas Walsh is happy about that, because now he has free option of tire. And I could imagine that Tom Walsh is the first one to try his luck on mediums, maybe. We will see in a minute or so. So, he is the final starting grid. Jack Rognan in the Ferrari leads the way, ahead of Peter Simpson. Then third, Dominic Walsh. Fourth, Nevis Ikic. Fifth, Grimo. Sixth, Blake Gary. Good quality result for him. P7, that is Kantan. 9th, Andrew Mont. 9th, Stuart McDonald. 10th, Ricky Kuao. 11th, Thomas Marsh. 12th, Mike Taylor. 13th, David Lawson. 14 only for Matt Snead. Interesting. 15, Martin Ward. And the last one is a Ferrari again. Ferrari lead, Ferrari close. That is Jarne Vandebrille. So, we are now in half a minute of waiting time to get the setup into the game, I will have a short breather and a short sip of water, and we'll be back with you in a moment. So here we are in lap 0 of 27, our parade lap, and the top 11 opted for softs. That's interesting, did not expect Tom Walsh to do so, but okay. And then 12 to 16 on mediums. The MRS has itself some track limits discussion. Meanwhile, someone was watching the hot lap of Jack Rocknan, what we did, I think, only partially. And there has obviously been some track limits discussion. So, yeah, Formula One MRS is getting more and more realistic, just like track limits discussions. Yeah, the lap time counted on regular corner cuts. Yeah, well, let's see. This could be the start of a MRS-wide discussion. If we might go to strict for next year, I don't know. We will see. We will see what's going to happen. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. I just hope that Codemasters will introduce something between regular and strict. Strict is just too hard. Strict is just ridiculous if you compare it to a former Formula One driver getting disqualified from a virtual Grand Prix and only on track limits, penalties. So strict is just too harsh. Regular, on some tracks, might be a little bit too weak. And this has been one maybe a little bit exploiting moment there for Jack Rocknan. But okay, that is gone now. We are now here for the race. The 5 red lights, and then the race in Sochi. Go, go, go. One of the longest rundowns here to the first turn. So a good start is very important, and Rocknan had a good one. And Simo under pressure here from Dominic Walsh in the first Alfa Romeo. Then in the background, everything into turn 1. It goes rather smoothly until down to Ricky Kuao, who went sideways there. 3 drivers into the long right-hander here on the plaza. Both the Williamses and Grimo it was, I think. I would like to say that everything except Kuao went rather okay. There was some debris flying off. That could have been some mishaps surrounding the Renault of Ricky Kuao. D-Killer, who is in last now. The rest went rather okay. I did not see some damage. Oh, there was some. What is here going on? Battle for the lead already in the first lap. Have a look how close it is. Rognan, Simo, Ikic and Walsh, both the alphas tangling here. So I'm not sure. Maybe Rognan committed a little bit mistake there, because the early get-go seemed a lot cleaner than Simo. TRS will be an important fact here. It's not enabled yet. This is the typical confusing table here at the in the lap 2. It's actually lap 2, just not lap 3. Leonard came into the pits. So during this lap, don't get confused from the tables on the left hand side. That will be correct as soon as we are in the next lap, and then DRS will be enabled. And until then, we ride on the shoulder of Nevis Ikic here. Leonard Cam still the only driver in the pits, who was in the pits now. So it looked like Ricky Kuao went sideways, but not picked up damage. And DRS is not available, of course. This will take until next lap. Oh, and Simo is already close. He is already awaiting his moment. It's getting closer and closer to his former car. Simo coming over from Ferrari to Renault. So DRS is enabled now. Fastest lap time is now sent by Dominic Walsh. And now let's have a look what Peter Simpson is doing. Rognan going sideways, left and right. Attack here in turn 1. And that looked rather cleanly, but he braked a little bit too late. Sideways for Rognan in the long left-hander. And Ikic pushed ahead too. So that costed Rognan so much of time that even the alpha of Nevis Ikic slipped through. And now both Ikic and Rognan must stay close, must stay inside the 1 second window, otherwise they will allow Peter Simpson to just run away. And I mean literally run away. He can be viciously fast. This is now the first DRS zone where it goes in the other direction. So Ikic was able to stay close enough, but speaking about close, this is Dominic Walsh sitting in the gearbox of Rognan there. Rognan is pushing maybe a little bit too much. It looks like Rognan is driving over the limit here. His car is sliding a little bit too much. He is losing contact. He is out of the 1 second window. While we see some yellow in sector 3 behind us already. I think it was Van de Bril who lost the position. I was trying to analyze the starting phase, but couldn't yet. And now let's have a look. Ikic. Rognan is out of the DRS window from Ikic. Ikic is close here, very close. DRS plus slipstream. Yeah, starting phase. -2 for Rognan and -1 from Dominic Walsh. +4 Thomas Walsh. So good start for both the Walshes actually. Yeah, Dominic Walsh lost one, okay. Thomas +4. -4 for Grimo after a good quality result. And of course the -7 from Leonard Cam, who needed a pit stop. Ricky Kuao already over Martin Ward and Jarne Van de Bril already again. After going sideways into turn 1. So these are the groups. Ikic chasing behind Simpson, then a little bit of gap, and Dominic Walsh and Kantan chasing the Ferrari of Rognan. Then already almost 3 seconds of gap to Blake Gary. And some tangling, or at least wheel-to-wheel fighting between both the Alpha Tauris, chased by Mike Taylor. Oh, and there is, what happened here? Oof, close, but Dominic Walsh pushed through. The first turn allows aggressive driving, at least in a virtual world. In real life, with this big sausage curbs, you really do not want to run over it. Ooh, and there was a crash from Martin Watt. I suppose that Leonard Cam is too far away to show it to us. Sadly, Martin Ward is already out, and now here on the right hand side should be a Red Bull. Didn't see it. Anyway, there was a Red Bull in the wall, darted into the barrier. That sadly is the end of the race for Martin Ward. Leonard Cam, I suppose, was hoping for a safety car, so that would have given him the chance to close the 20 seconds of gap that he has to the next one. By the way, Jane van der Brun is rather far away too. But still, Leonard Cam, the only driver who needed a pit stop. Only one who needed, and who knows, I suppose. Let's have a look at what's going on here with Ricky Kuao, who is overtaking our host David Lawson. He dares to do so. Is his car damaged? Nope. He was going sideways in turn 1, but no damage except some increased tire wear. Let's get back into the action. We see Thomas Walsh being aggressively close to Blake Gary ahead. Next DRS zone upcoming. Right here. This could get ugly for Gary here. Thomas Walsh on the inside, Gary defending, but there is nothing to defend. Just cruising by. And Rognan is already down to 5th, so he was ranked backwards until P5. And now Nevis Ekic has dropped out of the 1 second window. Nevis Ekic is not in striking distance of Peter Simpson anymore, and that is a big fact. That's a big thing. I don't think that Ekic can match the pace now from Simo. I doubt that he will be fast enough to stay close. Meanwhile, Dominic Walsh here in 4th. He dropped the position to Kantan. And Blake Gary is still staying close there in the DI's shadow of Tom Walsh, the Racing Point driver. So 7 laps now down the wire. Oh, have a look. Nevis Ekic is inside the 1 second window again. So let's stay with Ekic here for a moment. I suppose that there is a few sections, a few parts of the track where Peter Simpson can go so fast that he pushes him out of the DRS window, and then on other track positions, Seymour sliding! And he darted into the wall right on the pit entry. And he is... Wow, that is an intense maneuver. He is totally destroying everything that can be destroyed. But I understand that he did so. He lost already a lot of positions. We see a VSC now. VSC for, yeah, reshaping the pit entry, I suppose. And Seymour... Whew. That was... lucky, bad lucky at once. Bad luck, of course, that he lost his car on acceleration. Was the bad luck part. The lucky part that it was more or less close to the pit entry, so he could just turn around, more or less turn around. And Ricky Kuao with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. We have three penalties now all at once, and it's all 3 drive-throughs. My goodness, can you believe it? Blake Gary, Mike Taylor, and Ricky Kuao guilty of the same accusation. They all 3 have to serve a drive-through penalty. That is sad. That can really ruin a race, especially for Blake Gary, I would like to say, as he was in a good position to acquire a lot of points. And now we will have to see what will happen for Peter Simpson. I suppose that he could go through on this set of hearts. The question will be, how fast can he be with it? He already lost a lot of time. He is, of course, still quick enough to grab a bunch of points. Let's just see how much of damage he can limitate now. Pit stop actions. Pit stop actions. There was Dominic Walsh, Blake Gary in the pits. Drive-through penalty for him. All of them serving the drive-through right away. They have 3 laps of time and they did it right away. The only one who really stopped was just Dominic Walsh. So with the drive-throughs, at least a few drivers are now at least close to Peter Simpson, if not even already behind him again. So 1/3 of the race is in the books. Luckily no safety car yet, just one driver luckily who crashed. Matt Snead has very silently crawling up the field in 6th on his mediums. He should still be able to run a few more laps. Next pit stop, Kantan. So the soft runners, they definitely have to start sometime soon. Pit in sometime soon. The mediums can run until something like almost halfway mark of the race. I suppose that everyone will opt for a one-stop strategy, so everyone who pits will go on 2 hards. And they don't. There is Kantan on mediums, Dominic Walsh mediums, and Mike Taylor in last position, where we see the Alpha Tauri of Grimo running very wide there. So there are a lot of drivers who do not opt for the hards strategy. Interesting. But I suppose that Kantan, for example, and Dominic Walsh, I doubt that they can go through 17 laps on the mediums, while we see Matt Snead cutting his way through the next. Getting ahead of Andrew Mant, who is running on his old softs, who maybe will have A pit stop incoming. Nevis Ikic pit stop, but 5 seconds penalty. Speeding in the pit lane. Yes, Monster in. Andrew Mond into the pits. And he's not the only one. Ikic, Rognan, pitting likewise for fresh mediums. So everyone is opting for the medium strategy. It looks like they are all very comfortable with the thought to go through on this set of mediums. That's 16 and a half laps for Monster now. That's long. That's really long. But okay, if you can stay 10 laps on softs, you maybe can go 17 on mediums. So tire strategy has never been a big topic here in Sochi. I remember the very first race in 2014 when Pirelli had no idea what to do, and they brought the hardest compounds, and those hardest were so hard then every driver was struggling to get temperature into the tires, and everyone was able to go through the whole race on one set and just came in the last 2, 3, 4 laps to do the mandatory pit stop. And here we see both the Ferraris now getting closer. Van der Breggen did not pit yet. Rognan already did. If Van der Breggen wants to go medium too hard, he could stop actually right now. Pit stop window should be open then. He leaves him through. Yes, he does. He lets him through. Very good teamwork between the Ferraris this year. I would like to say untypically for Ferrari, but okay, why not? Van der Breggen still running, 11 laps now. His medium's age, so either he will go for hards, then he could stop right away, or he will try and go for approximately 5 more laps and then finish the race on softs. Both should be possible. Yeah, and Nevis Ikic in third. He is the virtual race leader. He's the first driver who did already commit his probably final and only single pit stop. Wow! What happened there? What happened there? He jumped over this curb. Wow, that was really a harsh drive through. Going through this turn, going over this sausage curb. I suppose, I hope nothing's got damaged. At least his front wing is still in shape. I wanted to say that he would be on a good way to win the race, but there is this plus 5 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that could really ruin things for him at the end. Halfway mark now in the race. Lap 13 of 27. Pit stop Thomas Walsh, who spent 12 laps on softs. And Thomas Walsh is going on softs again? Really? So that means he has to stop again. I'm not sure if that was really scheduled or if this was an error. It's really easily done to just select the wrong tire in the MFD. Just one click too much or too less and you are on the wrong set. Peter Simpson now has crawled up to P8 and he will get at least 2 more positions back, I would like to say. That is when Van der Breggen and Lawson commit their pit stop. I'm not sure if Bilton Matt Snead might stay ahead. Oh, no. I'm not sure about the pit stop delta. That could be close. We will find out very soon. Just a few laps until then Matt Snead will have to call to his pit crew. Let's have a short look in the race director. Yes, there is the mistake. This is the mistake I was talking about. Thomas Walsh, soft to soft. That is irregular. He must have at least one pit stop. He must use at least one different compound of tire. So Thomas Walsh must pit again. I doubt that this was intentional what he did. And he must pray for a safety car phase now to rescue him. So let's walk through the field here for a moment. This is Matt Snead in his Galaxy helmet leading away from Nevis Ikic in purple, from Kantan in purple, from Jagger Rognan in purple, of course. And Dominic Walsh is 5th, chasing Rognan ahead. 6th then already Peter Simpson. 7th Jarne Vanderbrill on his old mediums, purple helmet. Thomas Walsh in the Racing Point, committing this mistake strategy-wise. Andrew Mond in 9th. That looks like a darker purple helmet. P10 Grimo in a purple helmet. 11 is Stuart McDonald. 12th Blake Gary in a purple helmet. 13 David Lawson, our host, in a purple helmet. 14th Mike Taylor in, I think it's purple too, just a bit of shadow there, making it a bit darker. And last at the moment, that is Ricky Kuao in a purple helmet too. So the majority of drivers is using purple colors to honor the beloved person Jagger Rognan lost. Talked about it during the qualifying. Once again, my deep condolences in behalf of the whole mainstream racing crew to this family, and all strength and power they can have. So the race is taking itself a little bit of breather, I would like to say. We did not see a safety car phase, so that means that the field is stretched away of each other. We see the first penalty, at least track limits penalty. Blake Gary receiving a +3 for ignoring warnings on corner cuts. And of course, Ikic with his +5 for speeding a pit lane. Here is the one and only pit stop from Matt Snead. Let's stay with him for a moment and let's see where he will be out on the track again then. He will have softs, I suppose. And Ricky Kuao is out. Ricky Kuao in the Renault. He crashed in the intermediate sector. That was right at the beginning of the DS zone, and we saw it. Here he is again. Bernd Mailänder is taking to the track. Here is the one and hopefully only safety car phase we will have for today. Let's see who will take advantage. Leonard Cam is in to pit. Lawson, Taylor. Who else? This could be a big thing for Jarne Vanderbrill, but he is far away of the pit entry. This could have been a big moment for him. He is the only one who is really in need of another pit stop, but he's too far away to have a bigger advantage of it. So only the backmakers have stopped thus far. Austin on mediums, interesting. Interesting that he didn't opt for a set of softs. Maybe he didn't have another set of softs unused. Let's get a bit further ahead. Leader is Nevis Ikic. Does he pit in? No. Can't Tan? Yeah, have a look. Tan does. Rogner not. Walsh does. Oh yeah, we've seen more penalties being handed out. Van now in. Simo in. Getting himself a soft set for the restart. We have seen more penalties being handed out. No! Nevis Ikic. Oh no. Oi. Nevis Ikic. A drive-through penalty for speeding in VSC or safety car condition. Oh my goodness. Nevis Ikic had such a good race. He had the best chances to win if he hadn't the 5 seconds penalties, and now everything is lost for him. Because he may only serve it when the safety car phase is over, and then if you serve a drive-through, you are in last position. And same goes for his real-life body, K-Delay Kantan. He has a drive-through penalty in his backpack too. They can serve it simultaneously. Then the two boys holding hands coming into the pit lane, and then they will be last. Oh, that is sad. That is really sad. So it's actually only the top 3 who did not pit. That is Ikic, but sadly we must erase him from the top 3 very soon. Rognian on the mediums going through. And have a look who is that. Thomas Walsh. Thomas Walsh. Oh no, Thomas Walsh. He's on the wrong set of tire. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. I don't know why he didn't pit in. Didn't he realize it yet? Let's have another look in the race director if I'm still right about that. Thomas Walsh, yes, soft, too soft. My goodness, my goodness. Is he unaware? Thomas Walsh is such a good race driver. He is a smart race driver. Is he not aware that he is still running on the same set of tire as in the beginning? Can't believe it. I just cannot stop shaking my head. Okay, so let's focus on what is important. So in the end, we will see Rognan leading ahead of Thomas Walsh. But Walsh, yeah, you know, this head shaking moment of mine. And then we have to scratch Kantan too due to the drive-through. And then the next one up is Matt Snead, who did definitely not have a good quali. But he was just so lucky in his pit lap, in his pitting in. And he was right ahead of the safety car, so he was just cheering over to Bernd and say, "Come on, hey, let's get driving a bit. Let's just follow me." And that's gave him a very good situation here now in the last third of the race. In P6, Dominic Walsh, and that's then 7th is Simo. So the two drivers who tangled so much last year over the championship are now fighting for some following positions behind the podium. And I suppose that Dominic Walsh might try to hold Simo up to back up his brother's chances for the championship. Meanwhile, the safety car is already in the pit lane. Nevis Ikic is pacing the field here. And to some moment he will start running away. He should do that very soon. And now we are back to green. Here we go. Restart. Ikic ahead of Rognan. No attack there. No attack there from Rognan. At least not yet. He is close, but not close enough, I suppose. And then Thomas Walsh. Still tire strategy question mark. And Kantan, drive-through still upcoming, Matt Sneed, and this battle here, Dominic Walsh and Simo and Van de Bril. So, two pretty fast, pretty good, three drivers here close to each other. Meanwhile, Kantan has overtaken Tom Walsh. Kantan is a strong driver. He did not show his full abilities, his full potential in this season, I would like to say. He is, have a look, he is running away from Thomas Walsh and now already close to Rognan. And now my heart will bleed when Ikic and Tan both simultaneously will pit in for a very, very heartbreaking drive-through penalty. Yeah, not yet, but then next lap. So, and one thing I would like to say, because you can see that the cloud is overcast now. Lots of clouds, it looks a bit gray. So that is really the only thing that could rescue Thomas Walsh now. Meanwhile, cut back inside, Tan ahead of Rognan on the faster soft tire, pushing ahead over the Ferrari. And now it's P1 and 2 who will need to serve a drive-through. Hey Marv! Ja, auch auf Englisch ist es ja eigentlich meine Hauptprofession. Marv from a German league I covered twice in the last few weeks. I enjoy doing both actually, so of course it's nice to broadcast in my native language, a lot less of thinking which tires, which words to use. And now here is some battle going on. Thomas Walsh in fourth, who is under pressure from Matt Sneed, and he himself under pressure from Tom Walsh. And then there is Simo and still Jan van der Bril. So there is really a lot of action here left in these last 8 laps. Yellow in sector 3, that's somewhere here. And yeah, Kantan in the pits. Kantan has served his drive-through penalty now, while Ikic is still running. This is the last lap where he must serve the penalty. What's going on here? Nothing yet, and here nothing yet either. But this is still a lot of explosive potential here in this group. I'm watching the halo, but there are no raindrops yet. So this must be the only thought, or this is the only thing that could rescue Thomas Walsh from getting disqualified for not using a different compound in the race. Yellow. Leonard Cam. Safety car. We have a safety car again. My goodness. What happened? I have no idea. I didn't see it. No one who checked out? Interesting. And Davis Ikic has a big problem now because he didn't serve his drive-through penalty earlier, and under safety car he isn't allowed to serve the drive-through. So this is in theory, the last lap where he can serve the drive-through, but now he cannot, so he might get disqualified. Really not sure what is happening here. Whew. Anyway, the race takes another breather, another ironic twist. So, what is important now? The field will be very close then in the end. This is actually pretty good now for Kantan because he can catch up to the rest of the field after serving his drive-through earlier, just one lap earlier. Let's sit on board of the TV pod again. Yeah, it's getting darker and darker, but I don't see teardrops. Sorry, raindrops yet. Teardrops now. I suppose that this man we're sitting under over here, Ikic, he might cry some teardrops in the end. But right now I'm searching for raindrops. Yes, there it is. There is the rain. There are teardrops. Ooh, Ikic almost running into Bernd Mailänder there. And Simo left the session. I'm not sure what this is about. Simo is known to have not a good internet connection. But likewise, Simo... there he is again. Okay, Simo has rejoined. Okay. So, if you have momentary online lapse, a safety car is the best moment to do so, to have that. There is never a good moment, but still more or less the best on the safety car. And Thomas Walsh, there he is, the driver I was talking about so often already, and he is in to get intermediates. Indeed. 4.5 laps before the race is out. He now fulfills the race, the tire rule, to drive at least one different compound. It is still a safety car, so he can catch up to the rest of the field. The bigger question is, will it be really that rainy that we will need a set of inters? And we have just 4 laps remaining. 4 plus this. So the field is close enough together, so I suppose that race control will call Bernd Mailänder in at the end of this lap. Then we will have Yeah, 4 laps of racing then left. Yeah, it's getting... Is it getting more and more slippery? For the moment, let's just focus on what's happening in the lead. The lights are off, so safety car is in this lap. Ikic is once again controlling the pace. Yes. This is slippery. This is getting more and more slippery. Van der Brill and Simo have tagged. 5 seconds penalty. Ikic ruining his nose when coming in. And Ikic in. Rocknan in. Simo in. Monster, Grimmo, a lot of drivers now pitting. The only one who are still out Matt Snead and Dominic Walsh. And yeah, Nevis Ikic was disqualified. Nevis Ikic was disqualified for not serving the drive-through. I was anxious that that would happen. I told it a little bit earlier, and just so it happened. And now Thomas Walsh. No, Bilton Matt is out. Matt Snead is out. There he crashed. There he crashed his car in the slippery condition. Thomas Walsh. Thomas Walsh is the big winner of this situation. My goodness, didn't I say that he is a smart driver? My goodness, he has shown us staying on the fastest compound the whole race, and in the end, in the very right moment, he came in to fetch Inters. He's running circles around his brother there. And in second behind is David Lawson. David Lawson in second. Leonard Cam, Stuart McDonald then in third. Then a big gap to soft runners who will be washed out of the Sochi Autodrome. And a big gap then on the next Interrunner, that's Rognan in sixth. I remember David Lawson, he told me in the drivers' interviews when starting the season he wants at least one podium. His big goal is to have one podium this year. And now with 3 laps remaining in the pouring rain of Sochi, he made everything right tire strategy wise, and this could be his moment. This could be the moment he was waiting for all season long. Dominic Walsh now into the pits, finally getting inters for him. Same will Kantan do in 6. So this is the leading trio, no DRS anymore. 3 laps remaining. Thomas Walsh leading the way. He would be the new overall leader then after this day if he brings it home. Then in second, Lawson, and third is Leonard Cam. That would be a big result for him either. So here we are sitting on the shoulder of Leonard Cam, and Lawson is struggling on the turns exit there, but overall I just was about to say that it looks like that he in the Red Bull can go faster than Thomas Walsh in the Racing Point ahead. In fourth is Rognan, 12 seconds away, so this should not be a topic anymore. As long as none of these 3 men crush his car into the barrier for the last 2.5 laps, the podium should be safe. Just the order is still at jeopardy. Yeah, Thomas Walsh with 25 points. He will be the new overall leader in the end. Because Simo is already in P6. He got a few positions back now. He is maybe 5th soon. He will overtake Blake Gary. And then that would mean that Thomas Walsh would make up 15 points. So Thomas Walsh would be the new leader by 6 points then, but only if he wins it. 2 more laps remaining. 2 more laps remaining for these 3 guys. Rognan is getting closer. He has chewed up 1 second of gap, but that is not important anymore. The cushion is so big. He'll not get closer. Let's have a short look at Simo. He is about to overtake Blake Gary here for 5th. Blake Gary is a good rain driver. Mentioned that a bit earlier tonight. But I am not sure if he can really be good enough in the rain to hold off the monstrously fast Simo, who is pushing, who is angry, who wants to get ahead. Mike Taylor, meanwhile, opting for the monsoon tire. Mike Taylor on the full wets now. So I suppose the overtake will happen. I suppose that Peter Simpson will be fast enough But what is more important is what's happening here. This is our top trio again. Me as the broadcaster, I want to be neutral, of course, but I am holding both my fingers crossed for David Lawson to make it happen, to achieve his big goal for this year, to bring home a podium. Last lap for Thomas Walsh, David Lawson, Leonard Cam, and all the rest. We have seen yellow in sector 1. That's upcoming because Mike Taylor has crashed his racing point. So the full wet tire was not the right option to do. And still these three boys in this long left-hander, not easy to drive, especially when slippery, but they have not committed a mistake yet, neither one. They are more or less matching each other's pace, matching each other's errorlessness, if that is an English word. Seymour, meanwhile, by the way, ahead of Gary. So, just as expected, Peter Simpson is in 5th. The last approximately 2.5 kilometers plus 3 seconds penalty for Dominic Walsh. Let's have a short look at the penalties. Plus 5 for Leonard Cam. So, Leonard Cam will be behind Lawson anyway. He should still be ahead of Rognan. And now the last time we go into the infield. The last time these 90-degree turns for our top trio. Just a handful of 90-degree turns. It is about to be true. It is about to come to this end. Thomas Walsh, one turn away, and then he will win the Russian Grand Prix ahead of David Lawson and Stuart McDonald in 3rd. Congratulations to all of them. Congratulations to our host David Lawson for making it happen to stand on the podium after he won in the other league he is competing in the Slydog Racing League. He won one of the double feature races they have each Monday, and he just shows us that he is in a good form at the moment. Congratulations to our host. We will finish the session here on the shoulder of the Scotsman Stuart McDonald. Player of the day, yes, definitely, totally deserved the Red Bull of David Lawson. There's the trophy for Thomas Walsh, our new overall leader. We may not forget about that either. So, last year he was ruled out of the championship run 2 races before the end of the year, and now, 1 season later, this is maybe just the time where it all starts for Thomas Walsh. So here we are. This is our final result after penalties. Thomas Walsh has won ahead of David Lawson in 2nd and Stuart McDonald with 4 pit stops on 3rd. 4th is Jack Rognan, 5 Peter Simpson, limiting the damage after his lost or destroyed nose. P6, good result for Andrew Mont. P7, coming up a lot of positions for Jarne Vanderbilt. P8, Blake Gary, 9th only Tom Walsh. He was a lot more positions more up ahead before the rain was incoming. Then 10th, the last point being given to Grimo Goodman. 11th, Kantan. 12th, Mike Taylor, and not finished, Matt Sneed, Dick Kuau, Martin Ward, and Nevis Ikic, who sadly got disqualified. He was one of the hottest drivers in the victory discussion. Whew, what a race. It looked a bit static midway through the race, but then what an intense end. What an incredible end. Yeah, the rain really washed away everything that we saw before. Yeah, it was a great race. And the Mainstream Racing Series will continue next Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. UK time, 8:30 p.m. Continental. The stream will go online around about 10 minutes earlier, approximately. If you want to be notified, just hit the subscribe button and you will get a message from YouTube. We will then travel to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. I will be there with you the race afterwards. So in 2 weeks, I will have 1 week of vacation. So this will be the first MRS race that I miss in 2 weeks. But as I said, next week I am there. So next week everything is just as you are used to. Thanks for being with us. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. I'm Zeb Bauer and we'll be back with you next week. Have a nice evening. Have a nice upcoming weekend. Enjoy the first summer days. Yeah, and stay safe and keep racing, of course. Goodbye.